Hi guys, this is Kriti Banaga, your legal reasoning educator from 12 Minutes to CLAT, and today we are going to be talking about the AILET preparation. Now, AILET is one of the underrated examination because a lot of students focus on CLAT and therefore AILET takes a back seat. But of course, AILET is as important as CLAT. Now, before we go ahead as to how to prepare for CLAT, I would want to talk about the difference between CLAT and AILET. So, CLAT is an examination through which you get admissions to national law universities except NLU Delhi. For NLU Delhi, there is a separate examination which is going to be AILET. Now, with respect to syllabus, if we talk about syllabus, in CLAT we have 5 sections, in AILET we have 3 sections. English is common in both, logical reasoning is common in both, and current affairs is common in both. But yes, the pattern of both examinations are different, so our mock and our practice has to be with respect to the 2 examinations if we are preparing for both. Also guys, if any of you is preparing for CLAT and AILET and want to have a guided preparation, we have just launched a course which is called as Varchasva. You can come and attend the demo classes to decide for yourself. In this course, you will get Shakuntala scholarship, which is if you get below AIR 300 in CLAT, all your money shall be refunded back to you. All your concepts will be cleared through evening classes, so there is no clash with school. This batch will provide you with mocks, with doubt tabs, with doubt sessions and concept classes. So everything shall be covered at a very reasonable price. If you like my teaching methods, you can use my code KritiV, and I hope to see you in the classes. Now, what is more important? I would recommend keeping CLAT as your priority. Of course, there can be different reasons as to why you cannot do that. Maybe your parents are not ready for you to go to any other state and you're from Delhi and therefore you want admission in NLU Delhi. But please do focus on CLAT and try to make your parents also understand that your college of the next 5 years will help you get a job. It's you who has to get a job, not your parents. So them restricting you from going out somewhere will also hamper your career. Anyway, that is a separate point. So, in today's session, we are going to be talking about how to prepare for the AILET examination. Now, firstly, before moving ahead, we need to understand the pattern of the AILET exam. So, in the AILET examination, we have 3 sections. The examination is of 150 questions, which you have to attempt within 2 hours. For every correct answer, you get 1 marks, and for every wrong answer, you lose 0.25 marks. Now, if we talk about sections, there is general knowledge and current affairs, which is about 30 questions. There is English language, which is about 50 questions, and there is logical reasoning, which is about 70 questions. Now, if we talk about time management of these 3 sections, English should take about 25 minutes, GK should be taking about 10 minutes, and logical reasoning can be taking about 75 to 80 minutes. The remaining time period can be for any question that you were confused about and wanted to attempt in the end. Now, talking about how to prepare for these 3 sections. For AILET, what you have to keep in mind is your concepts need to be cleared, you have to practice, you have to do mocks, and you have to make sure your doubts are getting cleared. If we talk about the difficulty level of the AILET examination, it is a little bit mind-boggling, but it is not something that you can't crack. Every year students go to NLU Delhi, right? It's not like that there are no seats filled. Students do clear AILET, so you can clear AILET as well. The only thing is that it does test your logic in a twisted way, and that is okay. If we prepare well, we can clear the examination. If you're preparing for AILET with CLAT, then make sure that you're giving at least 1 mock each week related to AILET, and in the last month, 2 mocks each week related to AILET. Now, the first thing that you need to do is analyze the previous year question papers of the past 10 years of AILET so as to understand what type of questions are asked, how is it different from CLAT, and how much preparation do you require. Once you go through the PYQs, I promise you will get a lot of clarity as to how do you need to prepare for the exam, how much similarity is there with respect to CLAT, and how much extra do you need to prepare. So, just go to YouTube, type AILET 2025 question paper download PDF, and you will find plethora of websites from wherein you can download a free version of AILET PYQs. Now, Give yourself one day to analyze these PYQs. What kind of questions were asked? How tough was the English section? Did the logical reasoning section had a pattern? Were there certain types of questions in the current affairs section that you see has been repeated? So firstly, this will give you an idea of the examination, and secondly, it will also tell you how much do you need to prepare. Now, how do you prepare the sections? If we look at English section, it is a mix of comprehension based questions, grammar questions, as well as vocabulary questions. Now, because the English section is not passage based like CLAT, so it is important that we prepare for one-liner questions as well. But it does have passages, so we have to practice passages for AILET. As we are practicing for CLAT, so that is something that can be common for both examinations. So, make sure that you're reading the editorial every day so as to improve your reading speed, so as to improve your comprehension skills. Secondly, make sure that every day you are practicing 2 passage-based questions of reading comprehension from free GMAT websites. For example, GMAT Club is a website wherein you will get free passages to practice from. Thirdly, try to build your vocabulary through editorials, through root words, and when you're preparing for CLAT, you're anyway building up your vocabulary. And also past year AILET papers, they tend to repeat some or the other words. One tip that I can give you to prepare for AILET is make sure, especially English section, you are practicing from the PYQs. You are practicing PYQs of AILET and CLAT as well, as many as you can, because then you will get an idea what kind of comprehension questions are there. Now, coming to the second section, current affairs, you have to prepare similarly as CLAT, but remember AILET asks current affairs on a tougher level. For example, they'll give you 4 sentences and ask you which of the following statements are true. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 4, 2 and 3. So of course it is tougher, but it's not impossible. So prepare current affairs as you are preparing for CLAT. Prepare national and international events. Also, AILET focuses on GK. So there's a book called as Lucent GK, from wherein you can prepare static GK. Also prepare as many questions from GK Today website. Every day if you practice 5 MCQs, that also will be a lot. Now, even though previous year question papers current affairs does not matter, but because AILET relies a lot on static GK, you will find a lot of static GK questions. So make sure you analyze the GK section as well, so as to understand what questions can be asked and how do we go about our preparation in the next 3 months. Now, the third section is logical reasoning. It has the highest weightage and therefore it is a very critical section. If we talk about logical reasoning section, in the AILET exam, it is divided in 3 parts: analytical reasoning, critical reasoning, legal reasoning. The whole logical reasoning section can be out of any of these 3 sections, can be a mix of 2 sections, can be a mix of 3 sections. There have been times when they have not even asked a single legal reasoning question in the logical reasoning section. So for this section, we have to prepare all the 3 sub parts of it. Now, if we talk about critical reasoning, that is something you're preparing for CLAT as well. So as you're preparing for CLAT, that would be enough for your AILET as well. For analytical reasoning, there is a book called as M.K. Pandey. You can practice through that book. On the screen, I'll put the topics that you have to cover in logical reasoning. If you are someone who's struggling, then make sure you write these topics on your YouTube search bar. Watch certain videos to understand the concept, and then it will be easy for you. Just make sure that you are practicing it, because the more you practice, the more you will realize what mistakes you are making, and then you will stop making those mistakes. Now, even though legal reasoning is not a separate section, it is a part of logical reasoning itself. So practice principal fact-based questions from PYQs of CLAT, PYQs of AILET as well, so that you have practiced enough number of questions of that type that is asked in AILET, in case they ask this year. Apart from this, make sure that every week you are attempting 1 mock catered to AILET only, so as to understand how much do you need to prepare more and where are you lacking as of now. I hope this session was helpful. Thank you so much guys. Take care. I will see you in another session. Take care and bye-bye.